chaos. The chaos that is not rats.
Yeah.
There's basically rat chaos and not rat chaos.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
And for some reason, there's 5 of the not rat chaos ones. But, that's how it goes. Hello and welcome to Miniatures Rundown, continuing our Age of Sigmar 4.0 coverage with another faction focus review. This time, Slaves to Darkness. One of the more complicated armies.
I definitely noticed that reading it. We've talked previously about the bookkeeping, and they've unfortunately kept some of that.
They kept some of the bookkeeping, but they did dial it back, as is wont for edition, especially on one of the models that I'm going to highlight, unfortunately.
Oh.
Not quite as many War Scrolls as Age of Sigmar. As Stormcast.
Yeah.
They also didn't lose an entire chapter. First off, you still have Eye of the Gods. It's once per turn at the end of any turn. Every friendly S2D unit that destroyed an enemy unit this turn is a target. Friendly beasts and non-hero monsters can't be targeted by this ability. So basically, no things with the beast keyword, which usually means mindless, and no non-hero monsters. Make a reward roll of d6 for each target and apply the corresponding effect below. So you have to keep track of which units actually destroyed an enemy unit this turn.
Yeah.
Which is not a ton in this Age of Sigmar.
Right. There are less units floating around.
And make a d6 roll for everyone. You can choose to reroll, but if you do, and you get a 1, you get d3 mortals. So on a 1, you get nothing. On a 2, you heal 3. On a 3, you add 1 to hit rolls for the target's combat attacks for the rest of the battle. On a 4, you get Ward 6 for the rest of the battle. If you already have Ward 6, you go to Ward 5. If you already have Ward 5, stop complaining. And on a 5, add 1 to the Ren characteristic of this target's melee weapons for the rest of the battle. And on a 6, pick any other effect.
I'm going to pick number 1.
Hard mode.
So I can instantly see the problem of there are 3 different abilities on here that last for the rest of the game. And that is potentially on every non-beast or non-hero monster on the board. That's a lot.
Hope you have tokens.
Yeah.
You're going to need them.
You better.
The same effect can be applied multiple times to a unit, and more than one effect can apply to a unit at the same time.
So,
Rend stacking. So here's the one, though. You can never add more than 1 to a hit roll, though.
In 40K, they cancel out. So if your opponent has -1, you would still have +1. And then that's the reason that the ward is a 6, goes to a 5, is so you can put the same one on it twice to make it a 5.
But you can't go from 5 to 4.
You can't go from 5 to 4.
It's not +1 ward.
Stop complaining.
Yeah, it's not +1 ward. It's...
Yeah.
So there's still bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Keeping track of every little, who's killed a unit and what have you gotten from us, your little treatsy from the gods for your little unit kill. Oh, good, you killed a unit, you get a ward. Thank you. I'm just imagining cute chaos or something. Yeah. There's also marks of chaos. Friendly Slaves to Darkness units have one of the following effects based on the Mark of Chaos keyword. So this is pretty normal. Also, if you ever kill and replace a unit for any reason, like with reinforcements or something, they have the same keyword as the replaced unit.
Yeah.
So Undivided is +1 to wound for the combat attacks that target a hero or a monster. Pretty good. Corn is add +1 to the attacks characteristic of the unit's melee weapons for the rest of the turn if they charged. Pretty good.
Okay.
In the same turn. Tzeentch is unit has ward 4 up against mortal damage inflicted by spell abilities and manifestations.
Niche, but 4 up is pretty good.
5, or Nurgle is the one you'll pick, which is subtract 1 from wound rolls for combat attacks that target the unit.
Oh, yeah.
Just
really
all of them.
Just
all of them.
I don't have to have not charged.
So Nurgle's the one you pick because it's good, and Slash is add 1 to run rolls and charge rolls for the unit. So you're picking Nurgle. Jokes aside, these are all actually really good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
None of them are straight up useless.
Right.
Probably the Undivided is the most niche, but they're all pretty good.
Now, you do have to pick this, I'm pretty sure, during
List-
army creation,
list
list
creation.
building, so you don't get to list tailor.
Yeah.
Which makes the Tzeentch one a little tough.
That's true.
You base it on your local meta. Oh, there's Croak. Wow, 5 people are playing Croak. Guess I'm going Tzeentch. Battle formations. You don't have one for each god. which is good. I'm glad they didn't do that, because that's, if you want to play Khorne, go play Blades of Khorne, all right? You pick one of the following, blah, blah, blah. First one is Legion of Chaos. United in Darkness. This is a passive. While there's at least one friendly Warriors of Chaos hero and one other friendly Demon hero or Dark Oath hero on the battlefield, add 2 to the control scores of friendly Slaves to Darkness units while they are contesting an objective that is wholly outside friendly territory.
That is so many check marks.
Okay, it's check marks, but it's easy check marks.
Yeah, but you have to make sure all of them, like, oh, well, I don't have any Warriors of Chaos heroes anymore.
This is basically just +2 to your control score in your opponent's territory. Don't lose all your heroes.
Fair.
This is basically saying, in addition to a Warriors of Chaos hero, it doesn't say not named, by the way.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You're going to have at least one of these heroes anyway. This is basically saying it's rewarding you for bringing either dipping into demons or dipping into Dark Oath.
Yeah.
Which is very thematic.
It wants you to have both.
That's what Chaos does.
Yeah.
And hey, you could double, reinforce yourself. You could like have a backup plan by having one of each.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. It's basically just +2 control, which is not bad. I don't love it.
No, it's not great. I would rather be like, I know scoring is the way you win, but my brain goes like, yeah, but I want kill.
Let's talk about want killing.
God's Wrath Warband. It is once per turn in your army at the end of your turn. End of your turn, not all turns. Pick an objective that is contested by any friendly units to be the target. Place a defiled token next to the target objective. Then roll a d3 for all enemies contesting that objective. On a 2+, inflict that amount of mortal wounds equal to the roll. So you get to defile an objective, and then you have a chance to deal mortal wounds to stuff on it.
Yeah, not bad.
That's not bad.
I also like that it's called Ironclad Onslaught, because it makes me think that this is Keraton Overlords again.
Yeah.
Despoilers, which was the name of a previous sub-faction.
Yeah.
Once per turn, this is a reaction when you declare a fight ability for a friendly Demon Prince unit, which is, I think there's 2 of them, right?
With wings and without wings, or are they both the same?
I think that's it, yeah. Feral Ruin. Used by the Demon Prince who's using the fight ability. Pick a friendly non-hero Slaves to Darkness monster or beast that has not used a fight ability and is wholly within 12. You can fight with them immediately after.
Yeah. It's a tandem fight.
It's a tandem fight.
Only with the Demon Prince.
Chain fight with a Demon Prince and an idiot. Moron.
Yeah.
A non-hero monster or
beast. So this is your like going tall.
Yeah, this is your monster mashy list, kind of. We'll take a look at which ones are non-hero monsters. There are some good ones in Slice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not like Cities of Sigmar.
True. And lastly, there is Dark Oath. You knew there was going to be one. Once per turn in your army, your movement phase, if there is a friendly Dark Oath hero on the battlefield, pick a friendly non-hero, non-unique Dark Oath unit that has been destroyed. Roll a dice on a 3-up, set up a replacement with half the number of models, wholly within 6 inches of the battlefield and more than 3 inches from enemy units. Now, Dark Oaths aren't the strongest thing in the world.
No, they're a horde.
But being able to set up that close can be pretty strong.
My only problem with this one is that Dark Oath are already not the strongest thing in the world.
Yeah.
You're already only bringing back half the number of models. They did not also need to make this on a 3-up.
Yeah.
That's a feel bad.
I mean, it's once per turn on a 3-up. Most of these effects are on a 4-up, so it's like a 50-50 shot.
That's true.
So it's slightly better than your average one, but it's also your sub-faction ability. So it should be.
Yeah. I will say that so far of all the factions we've talked about, this is the one that has the least clear winner to me.
I agree. None of these, like, I could see like some positions that you'd move into, but none of them was like, oh, I just take that one.
Yeah. Which I like.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank goodness. Stormcast it ain't. Let me get you there. Heroic traits. Remember, heroes only, no uniques. No takebacks or hesitations. Right. In your deployment phase, you can do Favor of the Pantheon. This unit can use the Eye of the Gods ability as if it were the end of the turn and it had destroyed an enemy unit this turn. So basically, you can buff yourself at the start of a turn.
Yep.
Technically, this only has... I mean, it's during your deployment phase.
So you get to pick the guy that it's on. You get to roll once.
Yes.
You could re-roll. Don't roll a 1.
Yeah, and it's on a hero. It basically lets you have this during the first turn.
Yeah.
There's stuff that could be useful on.
Sure. Next is Deathmonger. Once per battle, any combat phase. It can use 2 fight abilities, but after the first one is used, it gains fight last, like all of the 2 fight abilities. So put that on someone real big, and
That
they
isn't
going to
die.
Yeah, that isn't going to die. They get to fight twice.
Because you can fight the first time and then go, gonna get you.
I'll get you next time.
Gonna get you.
Yeah, don't put it into Archaon and expect to be okay.
Gonna get you. Splat. Last but not least, Radiance of Dark Glory. Pick each damaged friendly unit wholly within 12 of this unit to be the target. Roll a dice for each target. On a 3-up, heal 1 or heal 3 if it's a monster.
That one's pretty not bad.
It's an AoE 24-inch wholly within AoE heal.
Yeah.
That goes off for free. And it's
On
every single one.
every damage target.
Any hero face.
That's true.
Not just
Any hero
yours.
face.
I like that one a lot.
I like that one a lot. My only problem with it is like heal 1 is only debatably useful, and if you're like 1 damage guy, you want this on your Warriors of Chaos to like step them up a little bit.
Honestly, what you really want this on is your monster mash.
Oh, definitely.
Like you put this on your monster hero, your Demon Prince or something like that, and just have him radiate this heal 3 aura on everything that's a monster.
It doesn't include. It doesn't say not itself. It doesn't say each other.
That is
So
true.
It can heal itself.
That is true.
Oh, put it on Demon Prince.
Hey, artifacts of power. You can do. I thought that said Infernal Pupper.
Infernal Pupper.
Cerberus. Once per battle at the start of any turn, these are your artifacts. Pick 1 visible enemy wizard within 24 inches for the rest of the turn. Each time the target is picked to use a spell ability, inflict D3 mortal damage on the target. If the target is destroyed by this ability, do not resolve the effect of that spell ability. So this is basically, it's any visible any wizard. It's only once per battle.
Yeah.
So this, I guess Nagash hates this.
Yeah, I was gonna say screw you, Nagash.
Well, you have 8 machine guns,
He's Wizard 9 now, by the way.
Okay, yeah, so here's 9 D3 mortals.
Look, I don't want to cast spells this turn.
Yeah, and your opponent, if they're smart,
Yeah.
oddly, this is worse against better wizards, or it's better against better wizards.
Yeah.
It's worse against someone who has 5 wounds but only is wizard 1.
Yeah.
My Grey Seer doesn't really care about this. Look, with my Grey Seer, there's a 50% chance I'm going to snort some Warpstone and do this to myself anyway. I don't care. I'm
Woo, baby!
yeah. Oh, I took D3 mortals? All right, I was already doing that. This spell went off on a 13. Have fun. But that is pretty good against multicasters.
Yeah. Because of that, and it's only once per game, I could see it as pretty niche. I can see more people taking a lot of smaller wizards that rather than one, like, cast 2 or cast 3 wizard.
Yeah.
But, they take an Alariel or something like that. They're casting 2 spells.
Techless.
A little bit of damage. Sorry, I read Techless again and I decided I hate him
I
again.
had an aneurysm.
Okay. Moving on from that. Next we have the Conqueror's Crown, which is a passive. Subtract 5 from the control scores of enemy infantry units while they are in combat range. I thought it was wholly within combat range. I'm like, that's terrible.
That's terrible, but no.
No, just in combat range.
This is pretty good. On a guy who can survive combat.
Sure.
You probably, if you're a really dangerous melee hero, you probably have control 5.
Yeah.
So you're like, I have this, you don't. Mine, and it's always all the time. It just makes you really have whatever control point you're on.
That's true. Again, I want Killy.
That's
and
true.
That no Killy.
And last but not least, once per battle, your hero phase, the Realm Warper Twist Rune. Gee, I wonder who that's for. Pick a terrain feature within 12 inches of this unit. If the target does not have the obscuring terrain ability, it gets that ability, and then roll a dice for each model, friendly or enemy, within 1 inch of the target. For each 5-up, inflict 1 mortal damage on that model's unit.
So you basically pick a terrain piece and it
Gets
explodes in
It
shards.
gets obscuring, which is good because that blocks ranged.
Yeah.
And then it also does a horde clear. But it's only once per battle. This is my least favorite one.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't like any of them all that much.
I like both the Conqueror's Crown and Infernal Puppet. They're just niche.
They are niche.
The spell lore.
I generally dislike offensive spells that only have 12-inch range because you have to... This is for me playing too much 40k. You have to start the turn within 12 inches of your target.
Yes.
So if you're not within 12 inches of anything, you just don't get it.
Yeah.
Anyway. This is the Spiked Tongue's Curse. It's cast on a 5. It is pick a visible enemy unit within 12. If the casting attempt is unsuccessful or if the spell is unbound, inflict D3 mortal damage on the caster, which sounds bad, and it is, but the effect is just flat 3 mortals.
Yes. So it's better than most repeatable offensive spells.
Yes.
At the cost of, if it's unsuccessful or unbound, it hurts you.
Yeah.
So this one's weird because you really don't want to use this against good wizards.
That's true.
Because they're just going to go, oh, so free D3 mortals against you. Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the problem with this one. However, it is pretty highly damaging. This one's very good against people who don't have wizards.
That's true.
This one's very good against KO.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Two things, their whole faction that can stop it.
Yeah. The Binding Damnation goes off on a 7. Pick a friendly Slaves of Darkness wizard. Pick a visible unit within 12 inches of the enemy target, and they get strike last. Niche, but has use.
Yeah. I could see this like going through a Demon Prince or someone that wants to be like upfront and in combat, which makes the 12 less egregious. The 12 inches is less egregious because it wants to be upfront anyway. It's probably going to survive a combat. Giving something strike last means it's more likely to survive a combat. I don't mind this one as much.
Nope. But it's not as good as the next one. Demonic Speed goes off on a 7. Pick a friendly Slaves of Darkness wizard to cast a spell. They all say that. Pick a visible friendly Slaves of Darkness unit wholly within 12, which, is bad. But for the rest of the turn, add 1 to the number of dice rolled when making charged rolls for the target. I love me a 3d6 charge.
3d6 charge is fantastic.
It's never bad.
No.
So, yeah, that's pretty good.
I like that.
And we'll, of course, cover, are we even going to talk about the manifestations?
I mean, are they good?
They're not as good as the elemental ones that you can take.
That is a problem.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
The only thing I don't like about the manifestations, the way they set them up, is the casting the spell and what the spell does is in 2 completely different spots. Yep. If they made it like 1 page and then the next page is what they do, I would forgive it a little bit more. But
all right, let's talk about our favorite war scrolls, or my favorite war scrolls, because this was my job.
This is your job.
I'm going to talk about one that I think has some of the best glow up, which is good old Abraxia.
Yeah.
The one I was probably the most excited for last edition because I just really, really, really love her model. She had absolutely hot garbage rules.
Yeah, fantastic model. Rules from last edition were like, wow, that's it?
Have you heard about her spear and commutator?
It's like, has a 1 in 6 chance to do 1 mortal wound, and you have...
On average, she did less damage than, anything else. It was really bad. Now she's way better. Abraxia is 360 points. She's got 10-inch move, 14 health. 3-up save now. She had 4-up last time.
Yeah.
So she goes up 3-up save. Woohoo. She's got Gorbolga, which is her spear. Have you heard about her spear? And the the Thanaturg's claws and fangs. Sorry, Thanatorg.
Thanatorg.
It's a dumb name for a really cool-looking dragon.
It is.
So her Gorbolga, which it goes down to 3 attacks instead of 5 as she gets more than 10 wounds on her. But it's got 5 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. Anti-hero +1 rend and charge +1 damage.
Base 2 damage +1. Base 2 rend +1?
Base 2 rend +1 is juicy.
Yeah.
Base 2 damage +1 is juicy. 3s and 3s is good.
Yeah.
Companion attacks, she's got 6 of them. 4s and 3s, so not bad for a hero. Yeah. Only 1 rend, but 2 damage. She's still got a whole host of abilities. She's got the Undivided Keyword. She's got a natural built-in 5-up ward. The nice thing is that they no longer have the sub-faction things. We talked about this a lot with good old Brock from KO. She has also benefited from that. She's got Warlord of the First Circle, which is if a friendly Varangard unit uses its Relentless Killer's ability, which we'll talk about, while it's wholly within 12, that unit does not get Strike Last, which is very, very good. Mm-hmm. She's got a once per turn combat phase ability, any combat phase, which I really like. Pick an enemy hero to combat with this unit. On a 3-up, they get -1 attacks with melee.
Ooh.
So that, by the way, does not specify the size of the hero. So you can go charge Kragnos.
Yeah.
and go, you get -1 attack. And then he just kicks you in the face.
Yeah.
Because she does have the monster keyword, by the way. So
yeah.
Which means you could heal her.
True.
But Kragnos will kick you in the face.
Yes. You can't put the artifact on her.
No.
But you can heal her with
You
the
can put it on a schmuck to follow her around and be like, I heal you 3. Blood of Molten Varanite. Roll a dice each time a damage point inflicted by a combat attack is allocated to this unit. On the 4, inflict 1 mortal damage on the attacking unit after the fight ability has been resolved. She has Alien's Acid Blood.
Yep, basically.
Basically, only half the time. And then finally, it's Gorbolga the Accursed, which is any combat phase ability. Accursed is spelled ACCURS''D. I hate you, Games Workshop. Just kidding. But you know what? I think they just did that to save on text print.
Yeah, they put the apostrophe instead of an E.
This is her whole cursed spear thing. Have you heard about a cursed spear? It's cursed. That was the worst preview show ever, wasn't it?
It was really bad.
But this model is amazing. If this unit is in combat, roll a dice and apply the corresponding effect. On a 1, you get a damage. On a 2, nothing happens. On a 3 to a 5, you add +1 damage characteristic to Gorbolga for the rest of the turn. That stacks with the +1 damage from the charge.
Yeah.
And on a 6, you get to the +1 damage, and Gorbolga gets crit mortal.
Oh.
So on a 3 through a 6, so 2/3 of the time, you get +1 damage. 2/3 of the time in combat with this unit, you have a damage 3 going up to damage 4 against a hero, or with a charge
On
weapon.
the charge, yeah.
And you should be charging.
Damage 4.
Damage 4, rend 2 or 3 against a hero is really good.
That is really good.
Now, she is 360 points. You can bring a Ruinous champion in her regiment, which is not bad because it covers a couple of them.
Oh, and she's undivided, which was the +1. It was specifically against heroes and monsters.
Yes, +1 against heroes and monsters.
Yeah.
So she does even more punchy against heroes and monsters.
She will turn her head, look at a hero, and go. Yeah.
She's basically the landlady from Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah.
I want to do her up with the curls on her hair with that head. I don't like her head without the helmet, admittedly.
Yeah.
So having her just be the landlady from Kung Fu Hustle would actually be really cool.
The helmet's so cool.
The helmet is so... It's not even that the head is bad. It's just that
the helmet's
really cool.
Yeah.
Varangard, on the other hand. You can't talk about Abraxia without talking about Varangard. Now, unlike Abraxia, Varangard were always good.
Yes.
Like, they were good last edition.
They've never not been good.
They're also $110, but, you know... they're 310 points for 3 of them. So for only 50 points less than Abraxia.
That's great.
But you get 5 health each, a natural 3-up save, 10-inch movement. That means she keeps up with these guys perfectly, by the way. They have their Demon Forged Blades for 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. Charge +1 crit mortal. And the Steed's Hooves have 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage. Basically, most horses have 5s to hit, but these are... I mean, look at them.
Yeah.
Messed up demon horses. You get to pick one of the Marks of Chaos for these guys, unlike Abraxia, who
has to be
undivided. So you can't pick Nurgle for Abraxia. No cheating.
Yep. But you can for these guys.
So their Relentless Killer's ability is this unit can use 2 fight abilities this phase, but after the first one is used, they get Strike Last.
And she turns off the Strike
She
last?
turns off the Strike Last.
That's so good.
Like... Yeah, 1 unit of Varangard plus 1 Abraxia is 670 points. But I posit to you, good sir, that is the
delete target everything.
I posit to you, sir, that is 670 points well spent.
Wow.
I will say that Varangard themselves do not have a ward.
No.
And 5 wounds, 3-up save is good, but it won't save you against other dedicated damage dealers.
Yeah.
Jezzails do not care.
Well, yeah. Jezzails don't care. A Bloodthirster is going to wreck them,
Not if you charge that Bloodthirster, it won't.
That's true. And the fact that you can give them Nurgle means that you can get -1 to be wounded.
And that's the thing that makes Nurgle so good. A lot of your really heavy hitters don't take punches well back.
Yeah.
Like Chaos Warriors, I guess I'll talk about them after the next one I talk about. Chaos Warriors are a brick. They don't move.
Yeah.
And they'll kill chaff, but they also aren't going to do a bunch of damage. You can put... The thing is, the Nurgle keyword, -1 to wound is just so good.
Yeah. It's nuts.
In general. There's also a lot of +1 to wound in Age of Sigmar 4.
That's true. A lot compared to last edition. Especially.
A lot compared to last edition. The joke now is that you need to do your math hammer with the assumption of -1 to hit and +1 to wound. Because there's a lot of things that give -1 to hit.
There's also a lot of things that give +1 to hit.
Yes. Brief shout out to Be'lakor, who is not the complete annoyance that he was. He ignores all modifiers to save rolls, so he basically has a 4-up ethereal, which is good. Once per turn in the combat phase, he picks this unit and up to 2 friendly Slaves of Darkness unit, and for each one on a 4-up, you get Strike First. Which I don't love because it's on a 4-up.
It is on a 4-up, and you have to roll separately for each one, so
but
it's not like...
It's every enemy combat phase, which means that you just get to maybe Strike First during the enemy combat phase.
True.
Don't rely on it, but it's fun if it goes off. Yeah. He's got the Dark Master, so pick a visible enemy unit, no range.
Nice.
Until the start of your next turn. Each time the target is picked to use an ability, roll a dice as a reaction. On a 3-up, that ability has no effect. Keep in mind Then in Age of Sigmar 4.0, basically everything you do is an ability.
Everything that doesn't say passive
Yeah.
is an ability.
So 66% chance of him just going, no.
Oh, you want to move? No. You want to charge?
No.
You want to shoot? No.
And it's every single thing they do. The problem is it's only once per battle.
It is only once per game.
Right. Be'lakor, because it used to be that Be'lakor would shut down like one specific unit for the whole game until you killed him.
Which is good that that's not still the case.
I mean, it was part of the, but like, yeah, it was frustrating to fight against, but it's also kind of all he did.
Yeah.
And he wasn't that tough. He's still not that tough. I mean, he's got 14 wounds and a 4-up ethereal, which is not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
He does have Undivided, and he also does have a 6-up ward. He is a Wizard 2.
Wizard 2 is pretty good.
Enfeebling Foe is he can hit someone within 18 inches for -1 to hit rolls and no crits.
No crits.
Not bad.
Pretty good.
No, and the spell lore here is pretty good. He does have Demon.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he's also War Master, so he has to be your leader.
That's true.
The big thing is, though, is that now Be'lakor is a once per game shut down one specific
He
enemy
used
model.
to be a control piece where it was, I pick your biggest thing, and your biggest thing doesn't do anything for the whole game.
Yes.
And now it's a combat piece that has some control elements, which I like more.
Yeah. He is also 410 points. That's my problem, is that for 410 points, he no longer does quite, like, I would rather take Abraxia, although she's more of a brick than
She is more of
a brick thrown through a window in a sock, whereas this guy is...
So, see, but I'm used to a Bloodthirster, which is 420 points minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 3 other ones above that. So, like, being cheaper than a Bloodthirster and having, like, he doesn't hit quite as hard, but
He does have 8 attacks, 3 and 3s, 2 rend 2 damage with crit auto wound,
Yeah.
and 2 attacks, 2s and 2s, 2 rend 2 damage with charge +1 damage. He does hit harder than I think he used to, although maybe not. I might have to...
There's not a lot of things that are hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s.
Yeah, he hits very hard, and he does have the 4 ethereal, so he's not going away easily.
Right.
But he is no longer this, you don't get to do anything, and for 410 points, a fifth of your army,
Yeah.
he's a lot. He's not Archeon.
He's not Archeon. But Archeon's, like, double his points.
I guess should I talk about Archeon?
Do we have 45 minutes to go over his war sheet?
I'm going to do Archeon speed talk. Go. He's got 25 wounds, 14-inch movement, 3 up, save. So he's really hard to kill. All right. Slayer of Kings is 4 attacks, 2s and 3s, 2 rend 3 damage. Then he's got 6 attacks, 4s and 2s, 2 rends 3 damage. And then 3 attacks, 3s and 2s, 1 rend, 5 damage. 5 damage on the heads. Now, those are both companion, though, so you can't buff those.
Yeah, you can't buff them. So he has 13 attacks, and the lowest damage is 3.
He gets to pick a keyword in addition to Undivided, so congratulations on your -1 to wound Archeon.
Yep.
He's got the Eye of Ed Sheeran, which is you roll a dice. This roll replaces the priority roll of the next battle round. On a 1 to 3, your opponent must take the first turn of that battle round. On a 4 to 6, you must take the first turn. This ability cannot be used if there's an enemy Archeon on the battlefield. This is only once per game, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a once per game
50-50?
coin flip of ruining the priority roll for someone.
Yeah.
But there's a 50-50 shot at ruining your priority roll.
Yeah.
Slayer of Kings.
You know what I could see that being used for? Is instead of just making... Well, it is a 50-50 roll, but just if your opponent is going second, making them do a double turn
Yes.
in order to turn off their points.
If you know they're not going to go for a double turn.
Yeah.
Although, that being said, I believe the language of the double turn is only if you ever choose to.
Ooh.
Would have to look that up really quickly. Tell me below,
Yeah, fair.
because I'm not going to look it up right now. But I believe that only ever goes into effect if you choose to. Because,
Interesting.
for example, if you and I do the priority roll and I win and I choose to make you go first, you don't lose your command points. I think.
Oh, it's not command points. It's battle tactic.
Battle type. Sorry. I don't think so.
Yeah, I would have to look that up. I've never seen that.
Slayer of Kings, aka the second Witcher game. This is a passive. Every time you use a fight ability, if an unmodified windfall for 2 or more attacks made with the Slayer of Kings is a 6, you automatically kill a hero.
It used to be just like if you crit.
No, it was always double 6s kills a hero. That's basically the same. Favored Warlord, I already talked about. You pick that during deployment, by the way.
Oh, so he
He gets the list Taylor.
gets the Les Taylor.
And then he's a 3-headed Titan, or rather, this is once per turn in any combat phase. Pick one of the following effects: Filth Spewer, Skull Gorger, or Spell Eater. You can either do a Horde clear on a 3-up, but only a maximum of 7.
Okay.
You pick an enemy unit within 6, roll a number of dice equal to the number of models, but only up to 7, because Nurgle. And if for every 3-up, they get 1 mortal. So it's Horde clear, but it caps out at 7.
That's weird.
But it goes off on 3s. It's a good way to get like 4 mortals.
Yeah.
Well, I guess 4 to 5 mortals is average.
Sure.
That's not bad. 4 to 5 mortals hurts, right?
Yeah.
You can do Skull Gorger, which is pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit and roll a dice. If the roll exceeds that unit's health characteristic, 1 model in that unit is slain, and you can heal this unit where X is that unit's health characteristic. So you can pick a itty bitty City of Sigmar guy, roll a 2-up, and get a health back. You can maybe kill a Fire Slayer and get a
2 health back.
If you picked a Varangard and you rolled a 6, hey, you get 5 health back.
Yeah.
That's a heal. That might come in handy. Spell Eater, pick a manifestation within 12 inches. On a 2-up, it's banished and inflict D3 mortal damage on the unit that summoned it.
So I feel like the reason that Filth Spewer is capped is because it's the default choice. If you're undamaged, there's no manifestations, that's the one you pick.
It is worth noting that Archeon does not have his own spell, even though he is a wizard, too. He does also have a ward 5-up. So, you know. And he, of course, is a War Master if you pick him.
Yeah. He should be the War Master.
All right, so how many points is Archeon?
800.
890.
Wow.
Like, Archeon's really good. He's also half your army.
He finally passed up Nagash for the most expensive model in the game. Nagash has been number 1 until right now. Because Nagash is 880.
Like, is Archeon really, really good? Yes. Is he really hard to kill? Yeah. 5-up ward, 3-up save, 25 health, and -1 to wound, because you're going to pick -1 to wound.
And the ability to heal.
You might not always pick -1 to wound, because you might pick the others, like, because remember, you get to pick.
Yeah, the whole thing about the Tzeentch is it was like, well, maybe that's not going to matter, but you get to pick after you see your opponent's army, so it might matter.
Yeah. So he also has the undivided keyword normally, which is that against heroes and monsters, he does more damage.
Yeah.
Archeon slaps, but you're going to pay for it.
Oh, yeah. 900 points pay for it.
On the other end of the spectrum, though,
we got the lowly Chaos Warrior.
Well, actually, I was going to talk about somebody who kind of fell from grace.
Oh.
That is a pun, by the way, because I want to talk about the Wilderfiend.
The Wilderfiend.
Yeah, get it? He fell from grace because that's how he's a Wilderfiend now. He also fell from grace because now he sucks. So, Dark Oath Wilderfiend. He moves 8. He's got 9 health. He's got a 5-up save because, what else is new? He's got the Flesh-Tearing Maw, 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 2 rend, 3 damage. And he's got Razor Sharp Claws, 6 attacks, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 2 damage. Both of those are companion.
Yep.
And he has the Beast keyword. Now, he does have a 5-up ward. And he still kind of has well, not really. He's got Feed on Flesh. Every time a model, friendly or otherwise, is slain within 12 inches of this unit, you get a sacrifice point to a maximum of 6. If there are more than 1 friendly Dark Oath Wilderfiend units, only one of them gets a sacrifice point. This unit has a maximum control score of 1 because it's a beast. And then you get to take your sacrifice points, and then during your hero phase, you get to do kind of a spell thing. You can pick one of these abilities. Pick an enemy unit within 12, and roll a number of dice equal to the number of sacrifice points, so between 1 and 6. If any of them are a 5-up, they can't use commands for the rest of the turn.
That's good.
Yep. Warping Balefire, pick an enemy unit within 12, and roll a number of sacrifice dice equal to sacrifice points. For every 3-up, inflict mortal wounds. So, on average, 4 if you roll with 6 dice.
Sure.
And then Dark Might, heal this unit where X is the number of sacrifice points. After applying the effect you picked, reset the unit's sacrifice points to 0.
I was about to say, none of these say spend them. And then the very last line was
spend them all
of them.
When you spend them, you spend them all. So, for a guy who does decent damage in combat but can't be buffed, and has some decent effects, how many points is he?
210.
You went high on purpose because you saw me.
Because the first time I said 60.
Because you saw me cringe. No, he's 190 points.
Okay.
He's a lot of points for a pretty squishy model.
He is squishy. There's nothing wrong.
He's
wrong
sure
about that.
not doing what he used to. Is my point, which is kind of a shame. Just a heads up, if you haven't heard already, they did pull almost all of the Warcry warbands from Slaves of Darkness.
Yep.
Just use them as Dark Oath now.
It's crazy because almost all of the other warbands stayed.
Yes.
But all of the Chaos ones, because there was like 15
it was
of
also
them.
Chaos who was being a problem.
True.
The Chaos Legionaries are still in here.
Sure.
So, last, but I guess least technically of all the things we've talked about. Well, maybe not for the Dark Oath Wilder Fiend.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chaos Warriors. Chaos Warriors, they have a 5-inch movement, 3 up save, natural, 2 wounds, 2 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage. They have crit auto wound. You get to pick the Nurgle keyword for them, which you're going to pick.
You get to decide which Nurgle keyword you would like.
And you add 1 to their attacks characteristic whenever they're contesting an objective.
Nice.
And that's it. That's all they do. They're just good and steady. Mm-hmm. How many points?
Is it a 5-man unit or a 10-man unit? It is a 10-man unit.
10-man unit. So you're putting 20 wounds on the table here. Chunky.
I'm going to say 180.
200 even.
Oh, okay.
They're a little pricey, but these guys are made to contest objectives.
Yeah.
Because 3 attacks, 3s and 3s, 1 rend, 1 damage with crit auto wound is nothing to sneeze at.
Yeah. I'm looking at these and seeing the dark side of Stormcast.
Really? That's what an inventive concept, Mitchell.
I know. Because the Stormcast have the same exact stat line, the same exact weapons, except they have crit. Well, I'm thinking the Hammer Bros.
Yes.
The new ones.
Liberators,
Hammer Bros. But they have crit auto wounds instead of crit mortals, and they get to pick a Mark of Chaos, which probably just makes them better.
Yeah. So they're slightly better.
Yeah.
Slightly more expensive. And there's a ton more other Chaos War Scrolls. Those are just the ones I picked out
There's about 1 billion.
to show off. We're not going to talk about all of them. There are other really good ones. Mm-hmm. There are other really bad ones. Someday we'll go through all of them, but I'm probably going to wait for the book because there's a lot of these. Overall, though, as somebody who just got into Warriors of Chaos or Slaves of Darkness, I am really excited to put Abraxia on the table and have her not suck.
Yeah.
Yes, she's expensive, but she's at least fun to use now. Not a 4-up save and less damage than a wet noodle.
Did you get the Dark Oath box too?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So I can't wait to not put a Wilder Fiend on the table.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was going to ask.
Dark Oath work. We didn't go over the Dark Oath in general. You might have a Wilder Fiend. They work to swarm the board.
Yeah.
You can do that. That is a way to play this army.
They do have an Army of Renown. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but it is a Dark Oath specific army.
The sooner those die, the happier I'll be.
I don't mind them. I honestly wish there was more. It's not varied enough.
I hates them, precious. But I loves these.
Yeah, the whole thing, there was not a thing in here that I was upset about, except for maybe Archaon's BS.
He's 890 points, bro. What do you want?
And the turning off strike last on 2 fights for the...
She's 360 points. They're 310 points.
What I'm saying is everything looked cool if I was playing it. If I was against it, I would be rolling my eyes and saying you were, broken overpowered.
I was going to say the name of the person I was thinking of, but I'm not going to. So, let us know below what your favorite War Scroll is in this. No, I did not. These are not me saying these are the best ones. These are just the ones I wanted to talk about. So, tell me which one you like and why, so we can put it in our next video. And stay tuned for the next Faction Focus. Until next time.
Bye.